We're checking out Darmoshark's M3 Micro Pro, and this one is a really small mouse. For full disclosure, this isn't something I'm going to main as my son will be the primary person using it. I've only used this for about 2 or 3 days. And this really wasn't an expected purchase for my son. He was really enjoying Razer's Roblox themed Orochi, but as mentioned in my previous uploads, we had some changes, and one of the things that couldn't be maintained was his old mouse. We were thinking about getting the same one, but we thought a change of pace would be good. So this Darmo M3 Micro is really tiny, and I can't really picture this as something you can palm unless your hand size fits. Fingertip and claw grips would be the norm for average hand sizes. I personally have an 18 cm by 10 or 18 by around 9.5 hand, and that's not good for palming a mouse. If we check Elo for the size comparisons, it's way smaller than my Hitscan Hyperlight. Comparing it to his previous Orochi, it's about the same lengthwise, with some difference in the midsection when looking at it from the top side. And the more impactful difference really is the top part, where you can see that the Orochi takes up more space, and this makes it a bit harder to cover the mouse with your hand. That all will still depend really on how you prefer basically how you prefer your hand to handle the mouse. In terms of what's in the box, you do get the standard stuff with new mice. So you get the device itself, of course, you get a USB cable, you get a dongle/receiver capable of 1K, and of course, well, yeah, it's becoming more common with new mice. You have grip tapes and extra feet. So when looking at that, there's really nothing that stands out in terms of what comes with the mouse. Now, in terms of the device itself, the specs, they're pretty standard. So 3950, the standard 1K polling rate, a certain DPI value that you can achieve, the battery, the weight, and of course, receive connection options, Bluetooth 2.4 with the dongle, and your wired option in case you run out of battery. Now, when looking at the mouse, and it's consistent with what we've seen on Eloshapes, it's pretty much a smaller Hitscan, which is great shape-wise, and my son likes it. There are slight depressions on the sides for you to grip your mouse, and the M1 and M2s cradle your fingers. They're pretty light when you click on them, which is good. Now, the surface is smooth, and Darmo claims on their site that it's sweat-resistant, but I'm not too sure as it just feels like any other smooth, non-slip mouse surface. The wheel has that rubberized texture which has noticeable steps when you move it up and down. Now, the sound it makes when you scroll up and down is surprisingly present for a small device, and I do wish it was a bit more subtle. Now, well, you know what? Since we're talking about acoustics, let's get to that part. Except for the scroll wheel movement, everything sounds okay. In terms of the underside, it's got a closed-off design. You have the port for your dongle/receiver, you have your standard switch for Bluetooth off or dongle connection, you also have dedicated buttons for your DPI stages and polling rate. Now, the DPI values can of course be changed, and you do that in the software you can download from Darmo's site. The return rate or polling rate is pretty standard, and really by default just set it to 1000. You can upgrade the receiver, but that is a separate purchase. About those feet, those are smooth PTFEs, well, with nothing to call out. The software to manage your mouse is simple but pretty robust. The thing I default to often in terms of what needs changing are the DPI values, but it does offer features to make changes to some of your mouse buttons and functions or the creation of macros. I don't normally make any changes to those or add in any macros, but for gamers who want those options, they are there. Now, one thing I've noticed is that the software won't seem to detect your device if you're on a wired connection, but works fine for the dongle connection. So you can game while on a wired connection without issues though. I haven't mucked around enough to figure it out, but I thought I should mention it. While talking about issues, I also want to mention that while pre and post travel are pretty standard for all the buttons, which means there's hardly any, which is good, there is a very slight wobble for M1 and M2. Now, it's not annoying when you game. I also had to check this with my son, and he said it was just fine. It's just that it's something that I haven't noticed in other mice, or hardly. And it's just possible that it's this specific one, this particular Darmo that I have that has this wobbling issue, but I still thought I had to mention it here. So there you have it. The quick summary is that there's no need to go looking for another mouse for my son to use. I mean, when it was still new, he liked holding on to it even though he wasn't really gaming. Even when he's just watching YouTube videos, he's just holding the mouse in his hand. I suppose that's how much he likes it. Now, he hasn't had any complaints in the week he used it. I really think it's a pretty good mouse for fingertip or claw grip users. Now, palm grip, well, yeah, it'll probably cause you cramps if your hand size is used to medium or larger mice. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon.